Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Welcome to another live. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in as you do. And it's much appreciated. Nativity, good morning. How are you? Good to have you on this morning. Nancy, how you doing? Kevin, Cloudy, Oshawa. Mary, good morning. And Betty Lynn, how is ya? John, good morning. Andrea from I'm going to talk about Niagara Falls today, okay? Lori, Niagara Falls. I'm glad you guys are on. Carrie, Nebraska. Cecilia, Sudbury, right in my backyard. And Linda, I love those Lindas. Suzanne. Diane from Thunder Bay, Maria. And Annette, bonjour de Nouveau-Brunswick. Vicky, good morning. Deb, Nova Scotia. And Sandra, Brampton, good morning. Pam, how you doing? And let me just see. Onel, Arbaldo, which one comes first? Donna, Park Hill, Lynn, Daphne, John from Elgin, Illinois. 2 Johns on with us this morning at least. Suzanne, Stephanie, good morning. Lynn, bonjour. From Werner, Guylaine, bonjour. Marina, how are you? Linda, another Linda, Pennsylvania. Sunny in Pennsylvania. Linda, we got a lot of Lindas this morning. Ed, good morning. IT, Unionville. Wanda. And Donna from Newfoundland. So we got a couple of Donnas on with us. Reg, good morning. First time I've seen that name. Rita, how are you? Pat, Jackie. Guys, we love to say hello. Joy, good morning. And guys, you guys are wonderful. Susan. And Somchai, how are you? Micheline, Eleanor. Okay, a couple of more. Barbara. Oh, Barb, I can sing. Barb. Donna, Belle, Ewart. Where's that? Sue. And Regina. Guys, thanks again. Leanne, thank you for coming on. Okay. I read this article this morning. I read it yesterday, but I reread it this morning. Let me ask you a question, okay? And it's sort of a quiz, but, I just want you to put your thinking caps on and see if you can figure this out, okay? This article gives us the answer, but I'm just going to throw it out here, and if you want to let us know what you think the answer is. When is the most frequent time that people have a heart attack? Okay? So when they look at heart attacks, what time of the day is the most frequent? Okay? And I'll just wait here and maybe you guys can give me a few answers to that. And good morning, Sue and Sheila and Lynn and Marcia, good morning. When? Okay, so just take a guess if you don't know. And Tracy, how is you? Okay. And maybe, I don't know. Hey, Doc. Doc McEwen's on with us this morning from West Tennessee. Linda says bedtime. Ann says morning. Okay, let's get a couple more. Cecilia says dinner time. Teresa says morning. Anybody else? Anne, morning. And Suzanne, late night. Helga, early morning. Okay. Sandra says morning. Early in the morning says Nellie. Couple more. 4 a.m. Christine. Okay. Helen, good morning. And Faye's saying good morning. And Rosa's saying morning. Hey, guys, the answer is morning. Milica, you got it right. Okay? It's in the morning. Okay? Is the most frequent time for heart attacks. Okay? And who said 4 a.m.? Probably you're right. Okay? You're right. It's early in the morning. And blood clots form when you are, finish that sentence, okay? Blood clots form, mostly, okay? And form at any time, but, and why? Why would blood clots flow or form more in the morning? Okay? Waiting. Let's see. Why in the morning? Let's see if we can get any answers here. Okay? And you guys are, thanks for so many I missed that I wanted to say hello to. And Serpa, good morning. Okay. While sleeping, yeah, and when you first get up too, blood clots. Why? Dehydration. And, you know, Deb, you got it too, horizontal. But, you know what? No movement. You guys are smart. You know that? You guys are smart. But at the end of the day, inside your blood vessels, why would there be more clotting? Yeah, you're not moving. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you go on an airplane or sit in a car for 10 hours, you're always much more susceptible to clots. But the answer is, okay, according to the studies, is blood clots are forming because you're dehydrated. Okay? Now, 60,000 miles of blood vessels. 1.5 times around the equator, between your arteries, your veins, your capillaries. There's a lot of blood flow. And when you are dehydrated, I'll tell you, if you talk to any physician that works in emergency or whatever, that they, you know, they're trying to save your life. You know, they don't look at whether you have high cholesterol or whatever. They don't care about that. Okay? They're trying to save your life. But one of the things that they will all agree on, that people don't even think about, is dehydration. It's a massive problem for your heart. When you get dehydrated, what do I call water? Vitamin W. And again, I'm just going to tell you, only water is water. Nothing else is water, guys. Your body is built for water. And the way water enters your body, if you just drink water, is it goes to your bloodstream rapidly. Doesn't take long. Now, you know, because people will say, well, Doc, I like watermelon. It's got a lot of water in it. Yep, it does. Okay? And I like watermelon too. But it takes a different route to your bloodstream. Water, when you drink water, and this is, guys, you know me and this stuff. I talk about this all the time. Can you change habits? Yes. In my mind's eye, I'm just looking at, and the worst were men, okay? And you know me, I like to pick on men because I am's one. I pick on them. And I know what I'm like, bullheaded and stubborn, but I'd never admit that to my wife. Okay? Now, men would come in the office. You see that microscope back there? Okay? One of the microscopes that we had in the office. I used to love looking at people's blood. And you could actually measure the viscosity of blood, which is the thickness of blood. And I used to turn around. Oftentimes, I'm looking at the blood, and then I'd look back at a patient, and I say, you know what? You got blood thicker than molasses. That is terribly hard on your heart. So you're dehydrated. Okay? You have very thick blood. And you need to thin it out. Well, doc, should I be taking an aspirin? Somebody asked me that the other day. I hadn't been asked that for a bit. I used to get asked this all the time in the office. What do I think of aspirin? Well, I actually did. I can't remember if it was a FaceTime or how did I do that? It was a video. I made a video of, because the FDA came out with a new edict, and this has got to be 7 or 8 years ago. I'd have to go look it up. And we got over 1 million views on this. Over 1 million. And I talked about aspirin. I said, well, the FDA doesn't recommend it anymore. They just don't. They're saying that the benefits of taking aspirin, which will thin your blood, is outweighed by it's outweighed. Now, listen, I'm only reporting what the FDA reported, and they doubled down on it recently. Within the last year, they doubled down on it. Because people were taking aspirin like no tomorrow, and the FDA said the risks of side effects from that outweigh the benefits. Now listen, if you are having a heart attack, okay, I don't know if you can think of, getting an aspirin inside of you quickly, or a stroke. And the FDA said that, yep, if you are having a heart attack, someone beside you, whatever, gives you an aspirin, very good. If you're having a stroke, someone beside you gives you an aspirin, put it in your mouth, put 5 in your mouth. That's a good thing. But the FDA said taking it every day, even if you've had a heart attack, we don't recommend it because of the serious side effects, especially microbleeding. Okay? I'm just reporting. Don't shoot the messenger. A lot of people, when I got over 1 million views, guys. Okay? A lot of people were upset with me. I said, well, get upset with the FDA. Why are you upset with me? Although it is true that for years before that, if you listened to me when I was on the radio, and I said, look, I'm not your physician, but I said, aspirin, baby aspirin is overrated. And you should, in my opinion, I used to say that 20 years before, in my opinion, you shouldn't be taking it every day. But you need to discuss that with your doctor and your cardiologist or whatever. I'm not your physician. I'm a radio. I'm a radio doctor in those days, okay? And so, but I'm just telling you what the FDA said, okay? So, when you have thick blood, and believe me, when you wake up in the morning, your blood is thick. You're dehydrated. You lose at least a half a liter to a liter of water while you're sleeping. You don't think about that. The vast majority of people, by the way, are dehydrated. They really are. They don't know it. You don't have a little light on your head. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to have a little light go, woo, 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 woo. You add water. Okay. And again, when it comes to habits, okay, I went up a rabbit trail and you thought I wasn't coming back, right? Well, I am coming back. Habits. I turn around, look at those men. Dr. Martin, I don't like water. I said, suck it up, buttercup. Would you rather have a heart attack? Well, I like juice. Yeah, that'll give you a heart attack. I don't like water. Well, I don't care. Your heart needs it. Your body needs it. And I'm going to get you and help you to form a habit. You're coming back here within about 4 to 6 weeks for your follow-up visit, and you better not have blood thick as molasses when you come in. Or you're going to be in big doo-doo with me. You'll form a habit after 3 weeks. You get up in the morning, every one of you get up in the morning and drink. I drink a half a liter or 16 ounces of water every morning, 7 days a week. I have to put myself in a straitjacket, just about, and drink the water before I allow myself to have a coffee. And you guys know what I think about coffee. Okay? The real, and I mean it, the real vitamin C. Okay? Let's start a petition to make coffee the real vitamin C. But it is at the Martin Clinic. And you know what? Again, for 40-something years more, I've been saying it. When everybody poo-pooed coffee, I was telling them how good coffee was for them. Now, back to water. Vitamin W. Get up in the morning, make it a habit, don't have a coffee until you drink your water. You will help to prevent a heart attack. You will help to prevent clot forming in your bloodstream. You will take pressure off your heart. Remember, your heart is a pump. The thicker your blood, the harder your heart has to pump. It's as simple as, and guys, I'm going to tell you something. Okay? I'm going to tell you something. Here's another study that came out yesterday. Listen to this. It's just reinforcing another study. I'm going to tie this together. Look what it says. New study on a salt-reducing diet. Okay? A new study on a salt-reducing diet. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can reduce your salt. You know what I always say? I love cardiologists, okay? I do. But they're wrong. They get it wrong all the time. They got cholesterol wrong. They got butter wrong. They got bacon wrong. They get it wrong. And they tell you not to, reduce your salt intake. Okay. Does it help for blood pressure? No. But do it anyway. Hey, guys, it's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't work. And you know how many millions of people are on a low salt intake because, oh, my doctor said. What's more important is not low salt. What's more important is increase your water intake. Okay? Now, let me just finish with the salt study first, okay? Then I promise I come back to water, but they're connected, okay? What happens in high blood pressure, guys? Okay? Okay, resistance within the blood vessels, resistance, one of the factors is dehydration, okay? The other factor is at the kidney level. And cardiologists got that wrong too. And urologists got that wrong too. Why? Because they said protein, red meat, not good for your heart, and it ain't good for your kidneys because it's protein. And I used to scream like John the Baptist in the wilderness, that ain't true. It's not protein. It's sugar, my friend. You see, when you develop insulin resistance at the kidney level, here's what happens. It's all blood supply, by the way. Here's what happens. What happens when you develop insulin resistance at the kidneys? Your body holds on to fluid. Your body holds on to its salt and water. You get edema. You might not even see it. Sometimes you'll see edema in the ankles or whatever, okay? Pitting edema. You can press on your skin and you see that you've got edema there. But most people don't even know it. The only symptom they have is high blood pressure. Doc, I got high blood pressure. Well, I said, let's do two things. And just about 100% for sure, we're going to fix it. You're going to drink water. I don't like water. You're going to drink water. You're going to drink 2 liters a day, 64 ounces for my American friends. That's the sweet spot. I'm telling you, it's the sweet spot. You're going to drink 2 liters of water. You're going to suck it up, buttercup. It's going to save your life. Okay? And you're going to cut out your sugars. You're going to get your insulin down. You're going to cut out those crappy carbohydrates. Because now your kidneys, instead of retaining salt and retaining water, your kidneys are going to work properly. It had nothing to do with protein. Now, you folks from Niagara Falls, did I tell you? What are your kidneys? Niagara Falls. You know me, I love illustrations, right? I'm a very visible, I like to see things. And sometimes my illustrations are corny, but so what? It's the way I think. And when I think of your kidneys, I think of Niagara Falls. People get dehydrated. They don't know it. They don't have a little, if you are on any medications, I don't care which one they are, including aspirin, you are dehydrated because those meds really have an effect on your kidney function. Big time. Tylenol, Advil, over-the-counter meds. You will be dehydrated. I used to test it. You know, I'm not a researcher, but I saw tens and probably over 100,000 patient visits. Oh yeah, over that. I used to measure it. Your blood is thick as molasses. Do something before you have a heart attack. Drink 2 liters of water a day. Okay, doc, what's the best water? Spring water. Okay? It's the best water. It's God's gift to you. It's spring water, not tap water, okay? And look, I mean, you know, did I ever think in my lifetime, did I ever think that I would buy water? I would have bet you dollars to donuts that I would have never bought a. You talked to me 50 years ago. What? Buying water? But it's the way it is, guys. Okay? Now, all water's good. Okay? But the best is spring. It's as simple as that. People talk to me about pH and reverse osmosis and, you know, filtered water. And look, yeah. It's okay. Add a little salt to your water if you're filtering your water or whatever. If you're reverse osmosis or whatever, okay. But the best, right in nature, is spring water. Okay? It is. Because geologically, it's the way water's supposed to be. Because it comes through the rock and it goes through the soil and it picks up all the minerals and it picks up the even microorganisms. You know, I used to put a little bit of water under a slide, under a very powerful microscope, and you see, I said, guys, those bacteria you see, they're on your side. And by the way, okay, let's talk about, okay, we talked about the heart. Have I convinced you yet? Now, my audience is smart, so you guys know that already. How many of you are listening to me this morning didn't know about water? Not many. Not many. Right? Sweet spot, 2 liters or 64 ounces. Okay? That's the sweet spot. Been measured over years and years and years. Do it every day. 7 days a week. Yes, coffee is good for you. And when I hear that coffee dehydrates you, I get a migraine. I get a migraine. And by the way, speaking of migraines, there's 2 reasons really that you get headaches. Maybe 3. Okay? The number 1 reason that you get headaches is you're dehydrated. Your brain, okay, you don't have a light on top of your head, but your brain, when it's dehydrated, it holds on to water. Remember, it's headquarters. So it goes, you're not drinking enough, I'm going to hold on to it. Your brain swells. You can't see it. And your head starts pounding. That's a headache. You know how many people, thousands and thousands of people over the years that had headaches every day, and they started drinking water, and they started drinking 2 liters of water or 64 ounces of water a day, and their headaches disappeared. Now, ladies, you're complicated. In case no one's ever told you that before, take it as a compliment. You're unique, okay? For my woke friends, okay? You're unique. Women can get headaches from hormones. What happens? Estrogen dominance, low levels of progesterone, and they can get a headache. Okay? Women. And the other one, of course, can be from your neck. Yeah? Your cervical spine, or even a little bit lower. That can happen too. Posture and things like that. Okay? So, what am I saying? What am I saying? If you want to lower your blood pressure, you better drink water. Cut out the sugars so that Niagara Falls will work properly. Your kidneys. Both ways. Water flushes out toxins out of the kidneys. Visualize Niagara Falls 24 hours a day. It's not like they push a button and the Niagara Falls stops working. Go there at 2 in the morning or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Water is flowing. Think of your kidneys like that. You want to detoxify? You know, people talk about, Doc, I want to do a detox. Okay. I like that. I do a detox every day. How do I do it? I drink water. And digestively, I think I mentioned this yesterday. You're not missing fiber, okay? I hate to break it to you. That was brought to you by the cereal companies. Dr. Kellogg said, you need fiber. Okay? You need inulin. You don't. Okay? You don't. If you think your body was made, your bowel wasn't made to eat insoluble fiber, it's insoluble. Make your fiber water. You get constipated, you don't have enough fluid, you don't have enough water, and only water is water. And coffee helps that too, by the way. It does. I tried, and I did, with tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands. You know what what they accomplished after I gave them a sermon? They formed a habit, 3 weeks. Said, Doc, I didn't realize how thirsty I was. I had no idea. Now my sensor, I got a little sensor, Doc, that I didn't know I had. And when I'm low on water, it talks to me. I said, isn't that something? You didn't have it before, even though you were severely dehydrated. But now that you are drinking water, your little sensor's telling you. You talk to anybody that drinks water on a regular basis. Oh, you know what? I need some more water. I'm dry. Your body starts talking to you. It'll respond when you respond. You respond. Form a habit. And the second one is, what else should you be drinking? This is what I try and do on the reset. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. First of all, I want to get you off all juices. No juice. I'm trying to give your liver a break. You want a detox? Kidneys, liver. Kidneys, liver. I know your lungs and, yeah, listen. Okay? But I'm telling you, those are your big detox organs. Your kidneys, Niagara Falls. Wash them. Constantly. And your liver. And how does your liver get gummed up? How does it get gummed up? You put fat in it. How do you put fat in your liver? When you eat sugar. So the best detox, the best, is liver, kidney. Kidney, liver. Flush and empty. Empty the liver. The Costco parking lot that's full of fat. See the fat behind me there? Over my shoulder? You get rid of that in your liver. And fat isn't formed by fat. It's formed by sugar. Okay? So, thought I would bring that to you this morning when I read that. The most common time to get a heart attack is in the morning. Blood clots can form. And people are dehydrated. So when you get up in the morning, what do? Drink a bottle of water or drink a glass of water and drink 2 glasses to get to 16 ounces or a half a liter, 500 milliliters. Okay? I mean it. It works. It works. Better than aspirin. Better. How do you like that? Okay, guys. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Question and answer Friday. So send your questions in. Okay? Don't ask me how you do that because I don't know. Okay? I love you guys more than you know. And did I tell you how smart you guys are? Lately? Have I told you that? I haven't? Well, you guys are smart. You know, I was saying this to someone the other day. We, the Martin Clinic, have the smartest audience, podcast audience, live audience than anybody else in the industry. I'm going to tell you that by far. By far. Okay? Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.